Today we're going over After Your Heart by Bethel Music, the McClures, Tiffany Hudson, whichever one you want, you choose. This song is originally in the key of G at 64 BPM. I have my pedal board set at 128 BPM because, it's actually like written at 128 BPM. They just want to call it 64. So again, you choose. But the way this video is going to work is we're going to do the playthrough right now, and then we'll do a walkthrough and a little encouragement afterwards. But if you're looking for additional resources, you can find the tabs, sheet music, chord sheets, all of that down below in the description. But without any further ado, this is After Your Heart by the McClures.
Pre-chorus. Chorus. Slowly build. Verse 2. Drums in. Pre-chorus. Chorus. Break. All in. Interlude. Breakdown. Bridge. Bridge. Bridge.
So that is how you play After Your Heart by the McClures. And now we're going to go through a piece-by-piece breakdown of how to play these parts specifically. This song, like I said, is in the key of G, and it's actually pretty simple. There's not too many parts that are moving around. Like I said up top, I also programmed my pedal board to be 128 BPM, but just to let you know, if you don't want to do that, then when you're using dotted eighth delays, you'll really need to use like dotted 16th delays. You just have to basically double everything. But to start off, you're out in this song until the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus is very simple. It's just a single note lead line that starts on your 5th fret of the G string, and then you go 5th fret of your D string down to your 4th. So it's going to be. Then you do the same thing, except you walk it up, so you're going 5 on your G, to the 7 on your G, and then to your 7 on your D string. And that leads you right into the chorus. Now for this chorus, there's actually like 2 different guitar parts that you could play. In the tabs that I have listed down below, I transcribe how to play it both ways, but I'm just going to go over the way that you saw it in this video. So if you want another option, you can check out those tabs. But it's actually pretty simple. A lot of the heavy lifting comes from the dotted eighth delay that you're running, but it's just a single note line that you kind of play on that offbeat. So it starts on the and. So it's like 1 and. So you start on that offbeat. So it's like 1 and, if that makes sense. And you kind of have this like syncopated rhythm. So I'm going to play it without the delay, and then I'll play it with the delay so you can hear what I'm talking about. The first pass of this chorus, you're going to just be playing the 4 on the G string, and that's literally it. It'll change up again that second pass, but I'll get to that in just a second. So this is how it's going to be. It's like a 1. Now let me play that with the delay on so you can hear how that sounds. And it's going to be 1. The real key important part to this part is just playing those ghost notes, which are going to be where you're not fretting the note at all. And you're just resting your finger on the string, muting the string, but you're still picking it and like palm muting it. So you get those like ghost notes. Like. And for that second half of that chorus, you're going to go 5, 4, 2 on your G string. And then you're going to do that again, but it's going to be 5, 4, and then 0. So just your open G string. So it's going to sound like. Again with effects. From there, you have verse 2. And the way the guitars play it in the original is a little different than the way that I like to play it. In the original, they kind of have this lead line that has your open G string, and then you're kind of fretting the notes on your D string, just playing the vocal melody. So it's kind of like. So if you prefer to play it that way, you can kind of just like hear out the vocal melody and just play along with that vocal melody. But the way I like to play it echoes this synthesizer part that's playing. It just kind of gives you some ear candy, kind of changes up the sound that the song has. And I think it brings it into that pre-chorus a little bit more nicely. And that's just going to be kind of like this walk down on like higher up the neck on your 15th and 12th kind of like box area here on your E string, and they're going to be walking it down to like your G string. So it's just going to be. And those notes are 15 to 12, 14 to 15 on your B. And then you're going to go 12 on your E to 12 on your B, and then 15 on your B once again, and then you're going to play 14 on your G, 12 on your B, and then 12 on the G. And then you're going to end it on 14 on the G. So putting that all together, you've got... And it's important to palm mute the whole thing, and as you're playing it through, you kind of just release your palm mute a little bit. You never fully quite play it open, but you just kind of palm mute a little less every time. And then that'll carry you straight back into the chorus again, but this time you're playing it all in with that main chorus part that repeats itself a few times. So that main chorus part is just an octave chord that you're going to be playing. So that's, you're going to use your pinky on your E string. The first one is going to be on the 10th fret, and then your index finger on your G string, and that's going to be your 7th fret. So there's 3 frets that separate the two, and that just creates an octave. And you're going to strum through that and just walk it down. So if you're going to be using your pinky as a reference, it's just going to be 10, 8, 7, 5. If you're going to be using your index finger as a reference, that'll be 7, 5, 4, 2. And you just strum through that. Repeat it. And then from there, it goes higher up the neck to give that little lead line. And I'm going to play it through all the way once, and then we'll break it down. So it's... So to play that, you're going to be up here on your 15th and 17th kind of fret area. And that's going to be hammer on and pull off from your 15th to 17th fret on your E. And then, you know, pull off back to your 15th. So, and then you're going to play 15 on your B and slide that up to 17. And then from there, you're going to go to your 10th fret of your B string and slide that up to 12. So altogether, so far, that's... You're going to go back down to your 10th fret, and instead of sliding, this time you're going to do a hammer on and pull off to your 12th and then back. So it's going to be... And you're going to then hit the 12 on your G and slide that up to 14. And then you're going to pick the 12th again on your G and then pick the 11th on your G. So give it some vibrato. So altogether, that's... And you're going to play that first half one more time. And then instead, you're just going to strum this chord, which is similar to your octave chord, except you're also playing your 10th fret on your B. So that's 7 on the G, and then 10 on your B and E. It's basically like a D power chord. So altogether, that's... Alright, so that only leaves one more part, and that is the bridge part. So what I like to do is I'll be out during that instrumental part that leads into the bridge, but as soon as the bridge comes in, I'll lightly pick through that lead line. In the original, it's really just the piano and kind of like a synth that is playing that part. But personally, I like to just palm mute it, play it really quiet, and allow the delay of my pedal board to kind of just like fill some space in the background. You're still letting the piano take the forefront at that part, but with your reverb and your delays and stuff, you're kind of just filling some space there. And then later on, you'll come back in and really play this bridge part. But you play it exactly the same way. You just kind of sit in the background for this first pass, and then later on in the song, then you'll really come in with that heavy part. And so the way that you play that, you're going to be skipping strings a lot here, and it's basically between your D and B string, and you're going to start on the 10th of your D string, and then you're going to play 8-10 on your B string, and it's syncopated along with that vocal melody. So And then you're going to play 7 on your G string. And then you go back to your D string, and that's 9 on your D string. And every time I play this D string part, I use my ring finger just to kind of like keep everything in a box. Like you're used to playing it with the same fingering. So altogether so far, that's starting on the 10th. And then you're just going to play that vocal melody, which starts with the 7 on your E. And then you're going to play 8 on your B, walking down to 7, and then back to 8. So that's... So altogether, that first pass is... And then you're going to repeat that main part. Except this time you're going to slide up to the 13, and you're going to hit the 13 a few times and then end on the 12. Again, you're just repeating that vocal melody. So it's... So together with that last part, it's... So all together we've got... And then it goes into this chordal part that just really builds until the next section. And that's going to be 12 on your D and your B. And you're going to strum through that. So you're just strumming through. And then you're going to drop your pinky down to your index finger, which will be on the 10th of the B string. And you're keeping your ring finger there on 12 on the D string, so it's... And then basically it just goes back into the chorus. At the very end of the song, I drop it down to a different chord, which is just going to be, you're going to keep your ring finger on the D string. You'll be on the 9th fret. And then you're just going to play this G. It's basically a G triad inversion. So you've got your 9 on your D, you've got 7 on your G, and 8 on your B. So those notes are going to be, you know, B, D, and G, which make a G chord. So it's basically a G over B. So that's going to be... But remember, you don't hit this chord until the very end of the song, that second bridge time. But there's one more part of the bridge that's super important. Basically, that first 2 passes that we play, again, like I was saying, we're sitting back behind the keys. The keys really take that forefront there. And we're just kind of filling in the space with our delay and reverb. When the guitar really starts coming in, we're not playing this lead line at first. We're playing the chords, which are just going to be a walk up of your 4, 5, 6, 1, which is when you're in the key of G, your 4 is your C, and then you walk it up. So C, D, E minor, and then G. If you want to know more about like the Nashville number system and how like those numbers and the keys work, so if you're in the key of G, you say 4, you're really talking about a C chord. If that like sounds confusing to you and you want to know more about that, I have a video, I'll link it right here, where you can learn more about, that's called the Nashville number system. And I have a whole video that teaches you about that. But anyways, you're going to be playing your C, D, E minor, and then G, and you're just going to be walking it up the neck. The way that I play it is going to be, for your C, it's going to be 3 on your A, 5 on your D, and then you're going to play 5 on your B string. So you're kind of skipping over that G string, and you're just going to be muting it. And then you're going to walk that same shape up a whole step, so 2 frets. So you're going to be on your 5 and 7th fret. That's your D. You walk it up 2 frets again, except instead of playing 9 on your B, you're actually going to be playing 8 because that's the 3 of the chord. So you're going to actually have to flatten that to make that an E minor chord to keep it in the key of G. And then you're going to go back to that main shape that you were playing before for this last chord, which is a G. And instead of walking it up one step, you're actually going to walk it up a step and a half, which means 3 frets up. So it's going to be your 10th and 12th frets. So together that's... And the first 2 times you play that, you're just going to be giving it one big strum all the way through for each chord. The 3rd and 4th time, you're actually going to be like building on just the 1 there, and then you're going to add in the chord shape on the 3. So it's going to be... And if you notice on that last pass, I actually kind of start building in and strumming all the way through a little early on that E minor. Those chord shapes that I showed you for the ending of the bridge where you're playing just your 12, like that part that I already showed you, you're going to play that with these chords too. So that last pass is going to be... You're just going to slide it out. From there, you go back into the chorus. And then from the chorus, you'll go back into that bridge part where you're actually playing that lead line. Hit those chords one more time and then end on that G, just like I was telling you. And that's the song. But before we go, there's always a moment here where I like to give you some encouragement going into a Sunday morning where you'll be playing the song for your congregation. And I always like to remind you of the fact that a lot of times when we're playing, there's a lot of faces in the congregation that we do know. But there's also sometimes a lot of faces in the congregation that we don't know. And what is so powerful about that is that sometimes these people might be giving church their first shot. You know, maybe this is the first time they're stepping into a church and they're experiencing this all brand new. But sometimes there's people walking in and this is actually their last shot. They say, Jesus, I'm giving you one more shot to prove that you're real, to prove that this thing is true, that you see me, that you know me, that you care about me. And what I think is so powerful about this song is that there are some songs that use the I pronoun in their lyrics in such a way that makes you question, is this song even worship anymore? Because it's about me. Like I'm singing about me. But what I love about this song is that it's able to use that I pronoun. It's able to say, like, I am desperate for you, but in a way that is 100% focused on Jesus. It's 100% focused on, I just want your presence. I just want one touch. I just want to experience you and be with you. And by doing that, it brings language down to the level of someone who's, God, I'm just giving you one last shot. I'm desperate for you. I need you to show up. And it gives people that language that is easy to grasp, and it just says, I'm desperate for you. And I'm curious, what would happen if your entire church in one voice just cried out, I'm desperate for you, Jesus. And I want to encourage you that as you're playing this, again, my whole thing is you're not just a musician, you are a worship leader. And I want to encourage you that as you're playing this song, cry that out yourself. God, I'm desperate for you. God, I just want one touch. I just want your presence. Allow that cry to come through in your playing. And I genuinely believe that the Holy Spirit is going to show up and do something powerful at your church on Sunday. But I think it's so powerful to have a song that can make something personal, but allow it to still be vertical worship where I'm singing to Jesus. It's about Jesus. Like, I'm desperate for him, but it's not because I need him. It's because he is everything. And it's not about what can God do for me. It's just, I just want him. I just want to be with him. I want to see him. And I think it's just such a beautiful song. So I hope that you really enjoyed this tutorial and walkthrough. I hope you got something out of it. I'm so excited for you to be able to play this at your church on a Sunday. Please let me know how it went or how it goes down below in the comments. I love hearing stories of how God moved in your church through these songs. But with all that out of the way, I just want to encourage you and bless you as you go into Sunday. Thank you so much for spending time with me and learning this song, and I will see you guys in the next one.